we have Ashar Javed with us. Ashar is a security engineer with Hyundai based in Germany. And Ashar will walk you through the roads to Office 365 bugs in Microsoft Office 365. I see that is a very interesting talk because most of the organizations definitely going towards, from offline exchange servers to the Office 365 and transitioning. So really good talk on that one. So hand over to Ashar. Ashar, you go. Here you go.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, good evening or good afternoon to everyone. And before I will start my talk, I will like to thanks to the organizer for having me. और आप सब लोगों का भी शुक्रिया जो लोग वीकेंड पे आज टाइम निकाल के ये कॉन्फ्रेंस एंजॉय कर रहे हैं. It's a nice effort. So let's start without wasting any time. Let's see how it goes. So the road towards 365 bugs in Microsoft Office 365. So I think few of you guys already know me from Twitter. My name is Ashar and I hold a doctorate degree from Germany. And I had a chance to speak at different conferences like Black Hat Europe, Hack in the Box, OWASP. But this time I feel really honored that I am first time I am speaking to a Pakistani conference and my audience is like you guys from Pakistan. So it's a privilege right now. So, and in 2018, Microsoft recognized me as a #1 security researcher given that I've submit so many bugs in Microsoft Office 365. The same is the case with 2019 and 20. But nowadays, like I am sort of taking a break. आजकल मैं कोई bug submit नहीं कर रहा. Just like a few months of no bug hunting. So one more aspect that I love to find bugs in Microsoft. लोग अक्सर पूछते हैं मेरे से कि आप Microsoft ही में क्यों सर्च करते हैं bugs, like why I am only looking at Microsoft, why I am not looking at other properties. So there are many reasons for that, and I would suggest you guys that look at this talk if you will have time, a tour of Office 365 Azure and SharePoint through the eyes of bug hunter. For example, अगर आप लोग plan करते हो कि आपने Microsoft bug hunting में participate करना है, तो what type of experiences you will feel. You will get everything in this talk. So the slides are available online. Just you can write the name of the presentation and you will find it. So Office 365, but nowadays Microsoft call it Microsoft 365. This is how it looks like. Like once you have a tenant setup, because setting up all the tenant and how you can view this type of a screen is not in the scope of this talk. But once you have your own tenant setup, you definitely see something like that. Like it's an Office 365, office.com is the URL. You can see Outlook, you can see OneDrive, you can see Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Project, To Do, Power Apps. You can see everything here. So it's a whole new world. Finding a bug for me is like a challenging task. Why? Why I think like that? Why मैं ऐसा क्यों सोच रहा हूँ कि मतलब Microsoft Office 365 में bug ढूंढना आसान नहीं है. Given Microsoft enjoys the manpower, there are more than 3,000 security researchers working for Microsoft. I'm not saying that they all are looking at Office 365, but the point I wanted to make is that they have a manpower. And believe me, it's an honor to have like so many people looking at your properties from 9 to 5. Like you feel secure. Because I also work for Fortune top companies, so I had an experience that manpower really matters. Also, Microsoft claims that they follow like a security development life cycle. Like every step of the development cycle has security integrated into it. And I don't know, मुझे नहीं पता कि आप कितने लोगों को इस बात का इल्म है कि NCC group is a well-known pen testing group or security assessment group. Every year, Microsoft hires their services so that they can only pen test Office 365. Even I read the reports. If someone will ask me like where the reports are available, I can send the link on the Twitter. Just DM me or just message me. Okay. And the last but not the least, like they have a public bug bounty program. No one is stopping you to participate in a Microsoft bug bounty program. Anyone from anywhere in the world can participate at the comfort of his own couch. So like ये 4 factors and these are the factors that sounds challenging. Like even they have a manpower, they have a security integrated, they have bug bounty program, even third party companies doing assessment. So it sounds challenging, but the most important point, like, you get a feel that you are making an impact on millions of companies, because you cannot live without Office 365. Like every day when I go to the office, I open Outlook, I use Word, I use PowerPoint. The same, I assume the same is the case with you guys. Okay, मैं अब एक स्टोरी शेयर करते हैं एक बग की, जो मैंने माइक्रोसॉफ्ट में Office 365 में सर्च किया. Literally, this is the name of the report that when I send it to Microsoft, like all your Power App portals are belong to us. This bug is not public, has not been presented at any conference, has not been written in any blog, in any presentation. Normally, I used to show this bug only during the my training that I offered around Office 365. But just because of on the B side, I am releasing or I'm unveiling this bug. Okay, Microsoft rewarded me like $8,000 for this bug. Okay, I assume कि आप में से कुछ लोग already security में interested रखते हैं, कुछ security field में आना चाहते हैं. तो I would recommend that this book is available online. I would say just read this book, Computer Security by Dieter Goldman. आप इस book को सिर्फ पढ़ें, मतलब one time you should go through this book. Your perspective about computer security will definitely change once you read. And I had the honor, given I am in Germany, I had the honor that I am his student. I did my master thesis and master project with Mr. Goldman, and I learned network security, application security, software security, all from him. I took all the courses from this guy, Dieter Goldman. He's one of the elite in this field. So please read this book. This book is available online. So before I show you the bug, all your Power App portals, just like basic some misal lete hain. Access control. What is access control? It is like authentication plus authorization. And normally in authentication, we verify a user's identity, while authorization revolve around the actions that the identity is performing an authorized or unauthorized action. Why I'm talking about access control, you will see in a minute. Professor Dieter Goldman said, the user identity is a parameter in access control decisions. This is a very important sentence. The user identity is a parameter in access control decisions. If you are a developer, if you are making an application, keep this thing in mind all the time. Okay, the fundamental model of access control. Like there is a principal, like an entity who wanted to perform some action on some object, but these actions should be performed under the umbrella or under the guidance or under the monitor of like a person. We call it like a guard or a reference monitor. So this is how like a basic fundamental model of access control works. What is IDOR? Because the bug that I'm going to show revolves around access control. That's why I show you the access control. What is access control? What is authorization? What is authentication? So IDOR is basically missing access control. This is the simplest way to describe IDOR. You can read a lot about IDOR. Some say that it's an unauthorized data. Some say that it's missing access control. You can read a lot of blogs on that. You can even read a lot of bug reports that are already public online. Okay. As I show you, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले दिखाया कि office.com, you can see it like that, office.com. How I find this bug? Okay, this is how Office 365 looks like. And among this, you can see Power Apps. Okay, once you click on the Power Apps, it brings you to a site called make.powerapps.com. The funny part is that Power Apps is not in scope of Microsoft Bug Bounty program. Okay, but Power Apps is not in scope, but the scope is defined in a bug bounty program list. The point is that just don't look only at the top level domain. Just see what request the domain is originating behind the scene. So that's I started exploring this website. This is how it looks like. The area of interest on this screen that you can see is portal from blank. I click on that like a portal. I'm going to explain like what is my methodology, how I found this bug. Once you will see, it looks easy because there is a saying that once the bug is there, or once you saw it, or once you read it, it always looks easy. But reaching to that point at the first place is always a difficult task. Okay, once you click on portal for blank, you will see a screen like that. This is very important screen. People just blindly throw a vector at it. People don't bother to read it, but I love reading documentation. So that's why I am successful in Office 365, because I read the documentation, I read the help documents, how to go through this. Okay, on this dialog box, what clicks in my mind by reading a sentence, create a website to share data with external and internal users. This points click in my mind. Okay, I immediately thought that these guys or this service is offering me to create a website if I'm an organization, so that I can share the data with the external users. Okay, sounds cool. But also one more thing to look at it in a closely manner is an address field. Address field, you see, it's like yahan par you can enter any value, and this like a by default is Power App portals, but there is also one option that Microsoft picks at random time. I show you later on the screen. Okay, if you move on, and let's assume that you have created a portal by using this dialog box. You write a name XYZ, you write an address ABC, for example, you select language and you click on the create. Okay, on the next screen, the URL looks like that, like make.powerapps environment. There is like an identifier and apps. In the apps, you can see a portal that you have just created. But once you select the portal, there is a dialog box here. It's like administration. This is the area of interest for me. This is how the administration looks like. Now read the administration. People don't bother to read these lines. These lines are very important, because this shows that if you will find a bug in that place, you have more importance. So this bug should have a more leverage. For example, in the administration, if you read it, see additional details and perform advanced portal actions. Like if you have a portal site that you wanted to share with external users, and with this administration, you can do a lot of cool stuff. Let's move forward. As I told you that by default, Microsoft shows you either powerappportals.com, like you can control the static part belongs to you. Like you can write ABC, XYZ, anything over there, and or Microsoft crmportals.com. The funny thing is that both are not mentioned in the scope. Both are not explicitly mentioned in the Microsoft Cloud Bug Bounty program. But okay, still, it's a game is just starting. Okay, you have these websites. I immediately thought out, okay, if I am creating a website on my tenant, what is happening around the world? It means that the people around the world are also creating their own websites. Maybe organizations are creating. That's why I started using OWASP IMAS. It's like an in-depth attack surface. Like I assume that if you are in bug hunting, everyone knows about it. IMAS. You can use it to explore the attack surface, how many subdomains are there. So I figured it out that around like 1700 subdomains that have like powerappportals.com or Microsoft crmportals.com. Like in total, I found out like 1700 domains, like different 1700 organizations in the world that are using Office 365, leverage this service and have their own website developed for the external users. Okay, this is good. And once you go to the portal action, this is the part that you can see once you are inside the administration section. Now look at the functionality here. See what features you can do that. You can restart, you can update, you can get a public key, you can reset a portal, you can disable custom error, you can change a base URL, you can enable maintenance mode. Oh, this is just the user interface. But what is happening behind the scene? If I try to perform one action, for example, this is how a post request looks like for custom errors. Now imagine we are sitting, in fact, not imagine, but we are sitting in Power Apps. But look at the post request. The post request is going to portal admin-nam.portal-info.dynamics.com. Dynamics.com is in scope. They have a dedicated bug bounty program. It means that even though from a user perspective or from user interface, you are in Power Apps, but the requests that are going behind the scene to Dynamics, which is in scope. And this endpoint is like where you can change the custom errors. Okay, how the post parameters looks like. Microsoft have like this request verification token. They normally use it as in Dynamics, they use it as like a CSRF protection. if you try to, and I think they are doing it good in a way that if you try to reuse it, they stop you. They try to stop you, and you cannot easily see a set of some other party. But for me, the interesting aspect is this portal ID, the post parameter. Look at that. There are two post parameters, portal ID and turn on. Like you wanted to turn on the custom error page, or you wanted to turn off. Like turn on, like true or false, doesn't matter. Okay, the portal ID matter, but this is ID is not easy to guess. It's not like that 1 2 3 4 5 6 or like a 3-4 digit number that you can easily brute force with any tool like burp or any other tool. Okay, now the question that I asked to myself, how you as an attacker can get the portal ID or the China product ID of the victim, like the target. If you go back to like few slides, I show you like 1700 websites. 1700 websites are using this CRM portals or Power App portals. The point is that I wanted to see their IDs. What is their TN product ID? And this is like a format. It's like a 32-bit number here. It's a random number. The answer you can find in the source code. Just open any of these 1700 domains. Just scroll to the source code, and there is an inline script that is telling me the ID. The community portal has an ID, this one. Okay, now it's easy. We have the ID of the victim. Okay, now what I did, okay, before I show you a video proof of concept, there is a video demonstration also. I wanted to show you some other requests, like what actions you can perform. That's why I wrote the bug title, all your Power App portals are belong to us. This endpoint is called set portal maintenance mode. Like you, by leveraging this bug, can bring any website into their maintenance mode. How? There in the post request, there is tenant product ID. You get it by going through their website that you found it from MS. Pick the ID and replace the ID. And the next thing, this parameter is custom page URL. You can change me to any URL. Like you want it that during the maintenance mode, they should see some XYZ website. You can do that. For example, when you enable this feature, this is how the site looks like, website under maintenance. Also, you can also see upload like portal certificates. Again, in that case, even though it's a post request, but there is no post parameter, the ID is a part of the URL. Simply change the URL. And this is how the result, it ends up like that, server error in an application. You can also change the base URL. Like you can even change the base URL. For example, the portal name is ABC, you can change it to XYZ. And when someone tries to go to ABC, he will see a message like 404 website not found. Okay, next, if I go through, let's watch this video. It's like a 3-4 minute video of this demonstration. I hope this will work out. Okay, on the left side, there is one tenant. I have set up two different tenants. One tenant is like Office 365 training, and another tenant is called Microsoft Bug Bounty. So on both, you see, this is like I created a portal. And in the settings part, this is our interest. Like, for example, I assume this is the victim because I use two different accounts. One is like a victim, and this is, as an example, this is a website of the victim. I set up this rough like website for this testing purpose. The site is online. And from the attacker, I will bring the website down, or I will redirect the website to some other page. Okay, for example, this is a victim. You go to the source code, you pick the user ID because this is the ID that you needed when you are using this IDOR, insecure direct object reference bug. I will try to enable maintenance mode. This is on the right side, there is an attacker. Always set up two different accounts. In fact, these are two complete separate domains, two complete separate setup for Office 365. This is how the page looks like. Before I will bring this page down, or before I will redirect it, oh, sorry, accesses. Of course, if I'm testing accesses there, definitely. You will also see one more accesses as a part of this video. Sorry for the video quality. If it's not good, I will share the slides. After next week, I will share the slides. Everything I will share. Okay, you can enable maintenance mode, and like, for example, I want that this website, victim website, instead when someone wants to open it, it should redirect to google.com. Like when someone wanted to open this website, it leads me to google.com. Okay, this is how I send a, you send a post request, and in the burp, you simply change the tenant product ID to the victim ID that you pick it from by looking at the source code. I also change it just to make sure. I also change it as a part of referrer header also. The cookies and all the CSRF token, everything belongs to you. You no need to worry about that. You just need an ID. You just forward it. Okay, now if I go back to the website that I have already, that I show you, where you can also saw pop-up accesses. Oh, there is one more accesses here. So now I will go to the website that I have earlier, and I will refresh the page. And then you can see that this page, victim page or victim site, is no more available. But it tries to redirect me to google.com, but because Google is using X-Frame option, that's why it blocked in Firefox. So, and next week at Hack in the Box Cyber Week, I have the talk plan, and I will unveil one more bug that you guys will definitely be interested in: cross-tenant privacy leak in Office 365. So for this, you need to wait some time. Like I think next week the talk is scheduled. And if you guys have any question, anything you would like to ask me, please feel free to contact me over Twitter. You can message me anytime, and I'm not on Discord. I'm not using Discord. So feel free to send it to me directly or to the organizers, and they will forward it to me, and I would be happy to answer. And I would be happy to help. Now I will say that okay, because some Pakistani कुछ दोस्त भाई इसको talk watch कर रहे हैं, देख रहे हैं. So if you have any question, I am available for the next 10 minutes for any questions you have.